episode of MMA News, we bring you the latest updates on Jon Jones and his recent warning to Ciryl Gane ahead of their highly anticipated fight this Saturday. We'll analyze Jones' comments and discuss what this could mean for the upcoming bout. Plus, we'll bring staff picks for the UFC 285 event. Don't miss out on the latest in MMA news. Jon Jones is one of the best fighters to have fought at the UFC, and there are many good reasons behind that. One of those reasons is that he likes to study and analyze his opponents in every way possible. This has been the reason behind this man never taking a short-term fight, because he watches videos of his opponents for hours and hours to see what he's up against. Just like every time, this time it is the same. He believes notes are going to help him when he steps into the cage at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 285's main event to face Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. After having done his homework, he is also appreciative of Gane, who was asked about his opponent, and he said, "Ciryl seems like a nice guy. Seems like he's a great fighter. Great footwork, great striking, ambidextrous in his stances, and I think it's going to be a great fight." However, he was then asked to clarify comments he made at Wednesday's media day when he stated Gane was the most incomplete fighter in heavyweight's top 5, to which he replied, "I respect Ciryl Gane, I really do, but I study film constantly and I just see a lot of patterns. When he's in one stance, there's things he really loves to do. He goes to the same well a lot. And when he's in the opposite stance, he has his tendencies. Outside of that, I realize that he doesn't have much wrestling. He relies on evasion trying to get away. He relies on jiu-jitsu instead of solid takedown defense. And same with the ground game. I watched Francis Ngannou be able to rack up maybe 5-6 minutes of top time in that fight. And Francis is not a guy that's known to control people on the top." Jones then went on to talk about two big holes in Ciryl Gane's fighting style, saying, "He does have the striking down. I don't think defensively he's a very strong kickboxer. He has a really nice offense. Like I said, his defense is mainly in his footwork, and two other big holes are jiu-jitsu and wrestling." Jon Jones, who used to be the best when he was at UFC regularly, is now expected to become the best pound-for-pound UFC fighter with his comeback. But as of right now, he does not seem to be thinking much about it, and he seems to be happy with the fact that Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev are the top right now. While talking about the best pound-for-pound fighter, he said, "Volkanovski has been very active. I do believe he deserves to be the top fighter in the world. Him and Islam think both are the top two. Volkanovski kept that title after a loss. He deserves it. He's refreshing. He speaks well. His country loves him. He represents the sport well." He then went on to add that if he's able to put down Ciryl Gane in his upcoming fight, that will put him on top of the list of greats, Jones said. "I'm fighting to be the greatest fighter ever, not to be the best pound for pound right now. We have two different motivations, and I think there's room for both of us at the top." Jon Jones recently gave a big statement when he said he does not think of Ciryl Gane as a complete fighter. At one point, he praised Gane, but on the other hand, he called him an incomplete fighter. So he was asked to explain why he calls his opponent an incomplete fighter, and this is what he said. "I would say that his footwork is rare for a heavyweight. It's not something he sustains for an entire fight. Round 1, round 2, maybe even round 3, depending on how things are going. He moves around a lot more than the average heavyweight, but I've seen through footage that usually by the championship rounds, a lot of that bounce is gone." He added, "Then another thing that makes him really different, a lot of heavyweights, they depend on proper defense to block punches and block kicks, where we notice Ciryl Gane just likes to back out really quick. But that's his gift, the ability to move on his feet. Outside of that, I feel like everything in his skill set are just things I've seen before." In simple words, Jones does not seem to think of Ciryl Gane as anything out of the ordinary. Well, let's see what happens on March 4th. We are, as Jones said, excited for the challenge. Here are some people picking up their winner in this big bout at UFC 285, and they have given their reasons behind the picks too. Harris Kruskick says, "Two trains of thought. Jon Jones is, in my opinion, the greatest MMA fighter we've ever seen. He is also significantly more well-rounded than Ciryl Gane, and that suits Jones in his heavyweight debut. I'm taking Jones. Francis Ngannou opened the playbook on how to beat Gane, and he isn't near the wrestler that Jones is. If he can avoid standing in the Frenchman's range and secure an early takedown, it could be a quick night and yet another accolade added to Jones's already incredible resume." Harris thinks Jones is going to win this fight by submission in the second round. Tom Taylor, however, thinks differently. He says, "It would be cool to see Jones become a 2-division champion, and several years ago, I would have been totally confident in his chances, but there are just too many reasons to doubt him now. The razor-close wins over Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes, his age, his long layoff, maybe he is the greatest of all time, but there is so much for him to overcome in this fight with Gane, who is big, dangerous, and most importantly, active." He thinks Gane is going to win this by TKO in the second round. Lyle Fitzsimmons says, "Here, I thought I'd be the only one. Make no mistake, I agree with everything written about Jones and his all-time legacy. He's as good as there's been. But I believe Gane's a special heavyweight, and as Tom suggested, I think he'll catch Jones with a decisive shot before Jones can get it to the floor. Inactivity matters. Quality opposition matters. New weight class matters. Put it all together, and it's an upset." Lyle thinks Gane is going to put him down in the first round. What's your take? While speaking to reporters, Ciryl Gane said that he would love to achieve the prestigious status Jones has in the sport, but refuted any talks of being a fan of his next opponent. He said, "A lot of people think I'm a fan of Jon Jones," said Gane. "It's really not about that. The people ask me which fighter you want, who do you like, and Jon Jones is the guy. He's the guy, and I'm looking forward to be this kind of guy, but I'm not a fan of him. I started to watch MMA about 5 years ago, so no, I'm not really a fan of this guy. When I'm going to jump in the cage, I'm not going to look at him like a fan." Gane had made another before that when he said he does not like to train unless he is booked for the fight. This led people to make a lot of assumptions, but Gane explained the context, saying, "In my gym, you have a guy who has born to spend all of the day of the week at the gym. It's not possible for me. That's why I said I'm a lazy guy when you compare me with this kind of fighter," said Gane. Like, whoa, I'm a lazy guy maybe, I will be better if I do that, but I talked about it with my family, friends, and coach, and they said that I need my balance. You need to take some rest, spend time with your family, love, everything like that, and after, when you come back, you will be better. I think this is my way. The most important part of Jones' interview is where he made predictions that Ciryl Gane was going to come up short in the fight because he's too predictable. Jones said, "He's the type of guy that will throw the same kick 3 times in a row. When he's in his orthodox stance, there are things that he does every time. When he's in his southpaw stance, there are things that he does every time. I'm a big guy when it comes to studying footage and things like that, and I've done my homework." He added, "Ciryl Gane has nothing that I haven't seen before. Absolutely nothing. There's no crazy speed or really sharp boxing combinations or these extraordinary taekwondo kicks that come from weird angles. He'll go for a spinning back kick, and they're sloppy, and he'll miss half the time." Jones then went on to draw a comparison, saying, "You know what? I'd go as far as to say that I believe that Thiago Santos, at 205 pounds, if you catch him on a good night, I think Thiago Santos could beat a heavyweight Ciryl Gane." Well, let's see who takes down whom at UFC 285. Put your prediction for tomorrow's fight down in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.